Hey guys, Elmira Hinton here, and today I have come on to talk about how to start a fast, either for whether you want to do it for weight loss or you just want to do it for health reasons. I got this question and I wanted to hop on here quick and answer it because it's really important. And I think I've spoken on this topic before, but I wanted to give again some information. Fasting is very healthy in the United States and in many other places where food is very plentiful, particularly grocery stores. We started doing a lot of snacking. And with snacking has come an increase in type 2 diabetes and other metabolic issues, increased waist size, increased heart issues, so on and so on. But um, fasting has become a way of helping to mitigate some of those things that snacking and excess intake of food has caused for us. You know, when you go to this, when you go to the grocery store, there are many aisles or of snacks, and that means that they want you to eat in between meals. So they want you to have a meal and they want you to eat in between meals and they want you to eat before you go to bed. What that does is create an imbalance in a hormone. And as many of you have known, if you know anything about me or listen to any of my other lives, which are here on this page, as well as the RN Health Coach page, insulin is a hormone. And every time you eat, particularly foods that have sugar in them, which almost everything, if you don't read a label and be careful, will have sugar. Okay. And when you eat things that have sugar in them, your pancreas gets stimulated to produce insulin. Okay. Insulin is that key that unlocks that glucose for you to use for energy. But if you're not doing anything energetic to burn up that glucose, that food that you're eating, then insulin goes to the liver and says, hey, I need you to store this for me. And repeatedly asking this over and over again, insulin says, hey, I don't need to use this for energy right now. Hey, liver, I need you to store this for me. And that goes on several times, 10, 20 times throughout the day, every time you eat or drink something that is sugary. If you're not expending that energy, if your body doesn't need that energy right then and there, then insulin says, hey, we need to store this. So insulin is very much known as a fat storing hormone. Okay. If your insulin asks your liver to store this sugar multiple times a day, and you think over years, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, the liver starts to get irritated or resistant. Remember, type 2 diabetes is insulin resistance. And what organ is resistant? That is the liver. The liver starts saying, no, I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again. And so it's not as if you don't produce enough insulin. It's the fact that a particular organ that needs to convert that energy, that food that you're eating into storage, that particular organ, the liver starts to say, no, I'm sick of this. And insulin raises its voice louder and louder, asking the liver to convert this food. Okay. So back to fasting. When you fast, you eliminate that sequence because there's no intake, then therefore your liver gets a break and it doesn't have to do any storage. Your pancreas does not produce any insulin because it's not needed because you're not eating anything with sugar in it. Okay. Great. So there's lots of, if you do research, there's lots and lots of health benefits to fasting. Okay. It makes your body use up what you already have stored. Okay. I've encouraged people for years, unless they have some kind of medical condition or they're taking some type of medication. If you're a person like myself, a lot of people like to exercise in the mornings, but hydration is very important if you want to start fasting. Okay. Now, obviously, you're going to need to pay attention to if you have some types of medications or some other medical conditions. That's for you to figure out. Talk with your healthcare professional. If you can exercise in a fasted state, your body then is going to have to go into your stores to utilize that energy that you already have stored. But if you eat before you exercise, Not only are you going to slow down that digestion, but your body then will utilize those immediate calories for that energy instead of going into your deep storage or your fat to utilize that instead. If you've got some meds that you have to take that you have to have food with and you have to do the in the mornings, you need to sort that out with your healthcare professional. But in general, if you want to start fasting, which is very healthy, we all should be doing it all of our lives. One thing you've heard is not to eat in between meals. So you have breakfast. And then if that's at 8 o'clock in the morning and you don't have lunch to 12 or 1, that you don't take in anything between that breakfast and lunch. The same thing after lunch. You have nothing from lunch till dinner. So no snacks, nothing in between there. And that's usually 4 or 5 hours. And the same thing after dinner. Usually people eat 6 or 7 o'clock and they're going to bed typically around 10 o'clock and they don't have anything in between there. Okay. You can have fluid. I would definitely encourage you to be sure that you stay hydrated. Water, lemon water, tea, things that don't have a lot of calories, things that don't have sugar in them, because your whole purpose of this is to not to ask your pancreas to produce insulin and not to ask your liver to store that unused energy. So that's where fasting can be very beneficial. It gives your liver a break from that constant request that we do with snacking to store more energy. Okay. Suppose you stop eating at 1900, so 7 p.m., whatever that is for you. You stop eating before you go to bed, 7, 8 o'clock. Okay. You've had your dinner or whatever, and you stop. But you still stay hydrated. You still drink your water or some tea that doesn't have any caffeine in it so you don't stimulate yourself before you go to bed at night. Try that first, a 4-hour fast. If that seems easy for you or you really want to try a different way, a next step would be an overnight fast, which would be a 12-hour fast. Okay. You drink, you stay hydrated. That's very important. And then you go to bed and then you get up 5 or 6 and you do your exercises. And because your last meal was at 8 o'clock the night before, you don't eat anything until 8 o'clock the next morning. That's a 12-hour fast. And that done consistently can really help support you in a healthy lifestyle. Okay. One, it eliminates snacking in the evenings because you're going to stop after dinner and you're going to go 12 hours. And then once you're comfortable with that, you could maybe move on. That's a 12-hour fast. Maybe in a few weeks after that or a month, once you're comfortable with that, you add an hour on and get to a 14 or 16-hour fast every single day. That can be really helpful, coupled with exercise and eating your vegetables. Eating your vegetables is extremely important, especially the dark leafy green ones, because that gives you the potassium. Those cruciferous vegetables really support your liver and how it works. And you think, why is she always talking about the liver? The liver performs over 600 functions in your body. So it supports it. It supports your thyroid. So if you've got thyroid issues, you might want to be sure that your liver is getting all the cruciferous vegetables that it needs, that you're not taking in alcohol, and that you're doing this fast, because that can really help support your liver. Because 30 to 40% of the change from T4 to T3 for your thyroid happens in your liver. Your liver facilitates that. Our livers facilitate many functions in our body, like over 600 functions in our body. So you want to keep your liver healthy. So if you want to start a fast and you've never fasted before, and particularly if you're someone, if you've been taking in a lot of sugar, one of the ways that you can do that, one, is cut down on the amount of sugar and stop eating in between meals, and then gradually build that up until you're regularly having a fast, either not eating in between meals or doing an overnight fast or doing both. That can really help support and jumpstart your get healthy plan, and you'll feel a lot better. You'll probably start to lose some pounds. Blood pressure will get better. Lots and lots of benefits to fasting, but that's one way to start. Also, ending your fast is very important. That's why it's called breakfast. It's breaking the fast. That's what your breakfast does. You don't want to really delve in and go and eat something really heavy, you want to start in pretty light with your breakfast. And then if you want to have a larger meal at lunch and then take it down a bit at dinner. But still, when you're breaking that fast, you want to make sure that you stay hydrated throughout the entire time. And you want to make sure that the glucose that you take in, you decrease that amount because that'll make your fasting easier. Okay. An overnight fast is a lot easier on a meal that's built off of protein and fat than it is off a meal that's built that your last meal was a lot of carbohydrates. Because then your body's going to go, hey, I want some more carbs. I want some more carbs. As opposed to if you had a good piece of meat with some fat, with some avocados, some walnuts, things like that, some olive oil type dressing, that those good fats, they stick with you longer and they keep your blood sugar level. I'm not talking about just for type 2 diabetes. This is for everyone. It'll keep your blood sugar level so that you don't feel so hungry so quickly. Okay. So that's the one tip I wanted to hop on and give you today. If you have comments, obviously comment below. And my name is Elmira Hinton. I am the RN Health Coach, and I am a Master Wellness Coach. So if you have questions, be sure and message me, and I'll see you next time with another tip on getting healthy and staying healthy and fit for life. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.